Baby animals. They're cute. They're cuddly. They're simply adorable. Don't be fooled. Out in the wild, these youngsters have to be deadly just to make it past childhood. They're badass babies and pint-sized predators. Born ready to fight, bite, and kill. In a world where only the strong survive, these little guys come out swinging. An apex predator on the hunt is an awesome mixture of speed, power, and cunning. It can take years to perfect the technique, and if you don't catch food, you starve. How does a young hunter get to the top of its game? A crash course at Predator School. No question, lion cubs are playful and curious. They're not just trying to be cute. These clumsy cubs have a little more than 2 years to become expert hunters. By then, young females are expected to help catch food for the pride. And young males must be skilled enough to make a living alone. The real lessons begin on the first day of school. Watch and learn, kids. Mom is a finely tuned hunter. She puts her technique on display. First, stealth. Then speed. And finally, power. But she doesn't kill this buffalo calf. She drags the injured beast to her cubs to use as practice. It's a vital lesson in the art of survival. Not all lessons come as easy. Some have to be learned the hard way. By their first birthday, the young hunters are eager to try catching their own prey. Not that they're ready. Baboons can be a tricky catch because they hide out in trees, but this little cub hasn't figured that out yet. The clever monkey's happy to teach its own kind of lesson. Never stand under a baboon with a full bladder. The next exam is joining Mom on a hunt. This young female shows enthusiasm. Too much of it. She forgets lesson number 1, stealth, and charges too early, spooking the herd of zebra. As they mature, the teens become star athletes with over 200 kilograms of muscle, a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, and 5-centimeter canines to rip into prey. Mom's lessons have paid off. The cubs now realize the full power of their weaponry and killer instinct that is their birthright. Lessons from a dutiful mother may take a while to master, but for a real crash course, there's nothing like learning from a dozen teachers at once. A remote South American beach is not as quiet as it seems. A mother killer whale is about to teach her daughter a rewarding but risky hunting technique. The prize? Young and unwary sea lions. The pair of killer whales rushes in together. But it's the baby that makes the kill. The calf is already able to hunt the same prey its mother does. It doesn't hurt that she was born weighing 130 kilograms. She also has an entire extended family to hunt with. Mom's her primary teacher, but there's a lot to learn from watching the group. The pod heads for a new hunting ground, a spot where sea lions gather in a huge breeding colony. A smorgasbord of pups waits on the beach. The entire pod approach in silence. They attack as a coordinated group. With the young hunter in the thick of the action. Hunting this way is dangerous, sometimes fatal. The rookie calf could easily become stranded, then crushed under her own weight on the dry beach. But she's well on her way to becoming an expert. With help from the entire pod, this whale has earned the title of killer. Having a support group around definitely helps the learning process. On the African plains, a newborn springbok stumbles to find its feet. Nearby, another youngster is watching. This one has hunting on its mind. This young male cheetah has an audience. 4 siblings plus a babysitter. While they watch, he tries for his first solo kill. This cub has all the tools of an adult. Long legs for sprinting and dog-like claws for traction. But he has no idea what to do after catching his prey. Nor do any of his siblings. Young cheetahs are unusual among big cats in that they are born without the instinct to hunt. They hit at the springbok's hind legs to trip it up. They eventually succeed at their mission, but their technique is sloppy. It is up to their mother to mold these natural athletes into high-performance predators. Her eyes are tuned for sharp daytime vision, able to identify prey from 5 kilometers away. She turns on the gas to show her youngsters how it's done, accelerating to become the world's fastest land animal, reaching top speeds of almost 100 kilometers per hour, twice as fast as the best human sprinters. A strong bite clamps the windpipe shut and suffocates the victim. Cheetahs may be fast, but they're lean, with no sharp claws to protect themselves. When threatened, cheetahs thump the ground with their paws. They're no match for fierce scavengers like hyenas. So Mom teaches her cubs another valuable lesson. After making a kill, drag it somewhere safe, away from thieving eyes. Another valuable lesson the young ones must learn. Speed comes at a price. An all-out sprint pushes their metabolism so hard that they can only keep it up for a few hundred meters. And if they don't cool down for about 30 minutes after running, they'll die. That's why they must learn the art of stealth, so that one short burst will pay off. This time, the cub strangles the antelope before trying to eat it. With Mom's expert training and help from their siblings, awkward baby cheetahs will eventually transform into the fastest four-legged hunters on Earth. Some young animals need expert training and take years to become lethal predators. Others are born into the world rough, tough, and ready to rumble. Not every baby animal has a patient parent to teach them how to kill. Some have to rely on being tough as nails. They're born ready to fight and claw their way to the top of the food chain. These youngsters may be small, but they've got attitude way beyond their size. Never underestimate the little guy. A blood-curdling screech pierces the still Australian night. A devil is on the loose. Meet the bellowing, brawling Tasmanian devil. Adults and babies alike never get tired of snarling and biting one another. No surprise how they got their name. Australian settlers figured these devils must have clawed their way from hell. Their aggression starts from infancy. Mother devils are only pregnant for 3 weeks before they give birth. Like all marsupials, her babies are born blind and helpless. They must find their way to her pouch and life-saving milk. Life's first brutal test comes early. There can be 25 or more newborns, but Mom only has 4 nipples. It doesn't take a math expert to know how that will turn out. No time to mourn. She eats her dead babies so nothing goes to waste. These infants are the ones that beat the odds. By now, they've got a serious set of teeth. Pound for pound, an adult devil has one of the strongest bites in the world, able to slice through hide and crush bone. Mom is an easy target for biting practice. She's one tough mother, but everyone has their limits. After 7 months, she cuts the apron strings and leaves the den, with no plans to see her rowdy infants ever again. The little devils quickly go their separate ways. The next time they meet, it may be to battle over a rotten carcass. Live prey or putrid flesh, a little devil eats it all. And keeps eating, and eating, up to 40% of their body weight in a single meal. With a temperament like this, calories burn fast. A few more months is all it takes for a devil's scavenging skills to reach grisly perfection. Well, look who's all grown up. This youngster has devoured his way through bone and muscle, so he can hide in his dinner and have it all to himself. Mom would be so proud. On the plains of Africa lives a different kind of temperamental little devil. An adult rhinoceros is a 3-ton battering ram with a horn sharp enough to pierce a car door. And a baby rhino? All that aggression crammed into a pugnacious pint-sized package. Born at around 40 kilograms, this baby rhino was on his feet within an hour. After 2 months, he's following Mom everywhere. It's been a long, hot day. Time to head to the waterhole to cool off. However, a huge adult male wants it all to himself. And he doesn't seem willing to share. He charges, separating mother and calf. A critical situation. Mom could be killed in an instant. What's a baby to do? Run away? Cower in fear? Not this little guy. He may be the size of a prize pig, but he's got the heart of a full-grown bull rhino. By the age of 3, this feisty young calf is really testing Mom's patience, and he's ready to go solo. By 10, he will have grown into one of Africa's most dangerous beasts, bashing and bulldozing his way around the waterhole. Another of Africa's toughest babies can be a real handful for its mother and every other animal it meets. A honey badger and her baby are on the hunt for dinner. The little one would rather explore. She turns to see him sprinting off. Now what's he up to? Oh, just attacking a couple of zebras 10 times his size. Luckily, Mom is even more fearless. Junior's already showing the fighting spirit that honey badgers are famous for. If he makes it to full size, he'll chase off cheetahs, devour deadly snakes, and generally dare the world to mess with him. At this age, his independent streak can leave him open to larger threats, like this jackal. He already knows the best defense is a good offense. And attitude can make up for skill. To be worthy of the name, this little honey badger has to learn how to raid a beehive. Mother shows how it's done. Tearing into the nest with 4-centimeter-long claws. And braving hundreds of angry bees with only her tough skin for protection. Her son has a much harder time of it. His skin isn't yet as thick as Mom's. After 6 months, he's as big as Mom. When the jackals return, he's now got the fight to back up his bravery. By the time he's full grown, he's turned into a professional snake slayer. He'll gladly go out on a limb for his favorite meal. The honey badger's fearless pursuit of this deadly delicacy is made a bit safer, thanks to super thick skin and some resistance to venom. Still, the Cape Cobra is one of the most dangerous snakes in the world. But as they say, honey badger don't care. You might think a baby predator is way less dangerous than its parents. But some creatures are born bad and capable of killing from their very first day on Earth. Not all animals have to hone their killing skills through years of training. Some are fully fledged predators, just moments after arriving into the world. The peaceful English countryside. What better place for young life to frolic and play? But these little bundles of fur aren't what they seem. They're stoats, relatives of the weasel, one of the most efficient killers of any mammal. The playful antics of these young kits are just a warm-up for the serious business ahead. At just 12 weeks old, they're fully independent and ready to hunt for themselves. Their favorite meal is 10 times bigger than they are. A stoat may be tiny, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in stamina. It knows it's too dangerous to pounce on the rabbit straight away. So it wears it down by chasing it, and chasing it, over 1.5 kilometers at full sprint. The prey begins to flag, but the little predator still has energy to burn. The rabbit might weigh 2 kilograms or more. The stoat barely cracks 100 grams. But it overwhelms the larger animal with sheer ferocity. Instinct tells it what to do next. A bite to the back of the neck, and the rabbit is now a very large lunch. The artful young hunter will take over its victim's burrow and continue its mismatched reign of terror over the meadow. Some baby predators get no help from their parents at all and have to figure it all out for themselves. On the floor of an African rainforest, a tiny baby claws its way towards the light. Its mother has left it to its fate. No problem. This is a chameleon. It's born with a deadly weapon already locked and loaded. The first target, a spider web teeming with young. This baby is a natural marksman. Its tongue stretches double the length of its body. A couple milliseconds before it hits, the tip transforms into a kind of suction cup that latches onto prey. Another baby chameleon nails a cricket faster than the human eye can blink. Chameleon babies combine this weapon with skin that can change color, eyes that can see in 2 directions at once, and some fancy footwork. This baby's so well equipped for survival. It doesn't need parental supervision. Another baby reptile is even more dangerous. This little Aussie snake can kill anything its mother can, from the day it hatches. It's an inland taipan, the most venomous snake on Earth. Taipans stalk the Australian interior, searching for rodents, and armed with a weapon that could drop 100 men. A baby taipan's venom is no less toxic. This infant is on her very first hunt. Instinct tells her to target exactly what her mother would. One quick bite, and the venom begins its deadly work, destroying tissue and causing convulsions. She has killed adult-sized prey with ease. Making a meal of it is another story. Then, the tiny serpent picks up another faint odor in the grass. Something more her size. In looks and in killing power, baby inland taipans are a chip off the old block. Some baby predators like to confront their prey head-on and in the open. But others take a more devious approach and are junior masters of deception and manipulation. Not every animal is born with sophisticated weapons, ferocity beyond its years, or a mother eager to teach it killer moves. Some babies need other ways of getting ahead. They're cunning schemers for such a tender age, nature's most devious youngsters. This wasp is looking for a place to lay her eggs, or rather a foster mom. A caterpillar is the preferred choice. One stab, and her life is no longer her own. The caterpillar keeps feeding on leaves, while inside her body, tiny wasp larvae are feeding on her. They keep their lunch alive by making sure they don't touch vital organs. After a few weeks, the kids have fattened up and are ready to leave home. The wasp babies literally chew their way out. But they're so surgical, the caterpillar often lives through the ordeal. The larvae start spinning cocoons where they will grow and transform into adults. In some cases, it is thought that a few larvae stay behind in their host, keeping it under their control. Because even now, it acts on their behalf, spinning a silken blanket to conceal the brood, and acting as a bodyguard for its own parasites. Their zombie protector doesn't even stop to eat, until it eventually starves to death. The adult wasp emerge with one main purpose: to breed and lay another clutch of eggs inside an unfortunate host. Baby parasitic wasps can force a caterpillar to protect the brood, but that's nothing compared to the animal kingdom's true masters of mind control. No, this is not a Hollywood B movie. The snail's eye stalks really are pulsing, a sure sign it's under alien control. Parasites have invaded its body. This snail is now on a march towards destruction. As a healthy snail grazes, it occasionally ingests bird droppings. But this bird is infected with flukeworm parasites. The flukeworm eggs hatch and creep into the snail's eye stalks, which appear to flash and pulse as the little bugs squirm. Now for the death march. The flukeworms force the snail to head out into broad daylight instead of hiding in the shade. Hungry birds spot the pulsating beacon. And the flukeworm's twisted life cycle starts all over. Forcing your will on a hapless foster mom isn't just for baby worms and bugs. A certain baby bird is notorious for it. High in a Korean forest, a mother parrotbill is tending to her nest. Her newborns are fighting. The weaker one is pushed out of the nest to his death by his unusually large brother. It seems like sibling rivalry gone bad, but all is not as it seems. Earlier, a common cuckoo spent days spying on the parrotbill. While the parrotbill is away, the cuckoo swoops in, destroys an egg, and lays one of her own. Mom returns none the wiser. The cuckoo's egg is much bigger, but she doesn't seem to notice. The imposter egg usually hatches first, and the new mother treats the baby as her own. She instinctively cares for any chick that's in her nest. It's a sinister strategy called brood parasitism, and this trick is just the beginning. One of the parrotbill's own chicks hatches, but it's born next to a deadly imposter. Killing works up an appetite. Below, a graveyard testifies to the baby cuckoo's efficiency. Soon, the imposter is too big for the nest. But the unsuspecting mother keeps feeding it and cleaning up after it. She will slavishly care for it, even as it outgrows her. It may be cuckoo, but it's smart enough to know a good deal when it sees one. Inside a cave in New Zealand is a galaxy of glittering stars. This beautiful light show is created by a deceptive and ugly baby insect. Glowworms will turn into a harmless fly when they grow up, but they spend their youth covered in a tube of mucus, mixing up chemicals to create a natural glow stick in their butts. But the lights are not just for show. Lurking under them are curtains of silk and sticky mucus fishing lines. They're designed to lure innocent victims. It's lights out for this moth. The glowworm rips the moth apart piece by piece and slowly devours it. Glowworms eventually turn into an adult fungus gnatfly, which only lives for a few days because they don't even have a mouth. It's their time as babies that they're at their most terrifying, spending 9 months dining on all types of insects. These babies lead a devious life, both beautiful and deadly. Some baby animals may be more sly than their parents, but others take outdoing mom and dad to a whole new level. These pint-sized predators are even more dangerous than the adults of their species. Most baby predators are no match for their parents' hunting prowess. A few are just as lethal at a young age. But one extreme class of youngsters are deadlier than mom and dad, and often look like completely different animals. The snowy egret. In this family, violence is strictly hush-hush. This elegant-looking bird has demanding mouths to feed, and her ungainly chicks take sibling rivalry to a whole new level. Most egret mothers lay 3 or 4 eggs. Those born early get a jump on the food and quickly outsize their later siblings. Hungry alligators have learned to lurk beneath an egret's nest. They know what's coming. The stronger chicks peck and stab their smaller sibling. Mom does nothing to intervene. This is all quite normal. Finally, the inevitable result. And a meal for one of the gators. These are the harsh rules of an egret's childhood. This behavior, known as siblicide, can be caused by a shortage of food. After this single act of violence, calm presides over the nest. A dutiful mother, 2 healthy chicks, and 1 well-fed alligator. Death lurks at the bottom of this pit. A ferocious newborn hunter called an antlion. Its parents were simple flying insects common all over the world. The larva is a mini monster with a savage set of jaws. Once hatched, it goes to work on a fiendish contraption. A pit in the sand, just 5 centimeters deep. But for some, it's a death trap. An unsuspecting ant edges closer to the pit. The antlion showers sand over the ant, creating a landslide that delivers lunch right to its jaws. It drags the ant underground to suck out its insides. The meal over, the antlion simply rebuilds his trap and waits for the next guest to drop in for dinner. You might think a baby predator is way less dangerous than its parents. But some creatures are born bad and capable of killing from their very first day on Earth. Not all animals have to hone their killing skills through years of training. Some are fully fledged predators, just moments after arriving into the world. Predators. And almost all of them live in Hawaii. Isolated on these islands, their evolution took a different and deadlier path. Carnivorous caterpillars rely on camouflage to blend in. They sit motionless. 6 savage claws stand at the ready. Delicate bristles on their backs are super sensitive. The slightest touch springs the trap. When it grows up, it will become a beautiful nectar-eating moth. Until then, this baby is wired for murder. Another larval insect is also nothing like its parents. Dragonflies are elegant aerial hunters, flying over streams and swamps to pick off mosquitoes and flies. Their babies live in a completely different world. They even look like a different insect. And they're armed with a lethal natural weapon that their parents don't have. Its jaws launch forward, grab and impale. A fraction of a second, and a tadpole is devoured alive. Dragonfly babies are so voracious, they'll slay and eat things nearly their own size, even their own kind. This victim keeps trying to catch tadpoles, even as it's being cannibalized. A predator to the very end. After spending up to 6 years underwater, the larva radically transforms, loses its spring-loaded jaw, and emerges to buzz over the swamp. Still a hunter, but leaving behind a reign of terror that it will never match again. Baby animals can be fierce, devious, and deadly. But only a select few are truly the stuff of nightmares. Young predators will bite, fight, and even kill to get ahead. But only a few cross the line into the extreme. The deadliest babies in the world routinely commit the most twisted acts that nature could devise. In a British garden, the players gather for a grisly scene. Dozens of tiny spiders, baby black lace weavers. These freshly hatched spiderlings are hungry. Their mother provides their only food. She lays a second batch of eggs, and the babies eagerly feast on their unborn brothers and sisters. As they grow, their appetites get bigger too. What's a mother to do? She has one last source of emergency food: herself. She signals to them by tapping the web, and her little ones gather around. Their killer instinct suddenly switches on, and they attack. The mother's insides dissolve, and the babies suck out the liquid meal. In 3 weeks, they'll disperse to lead solitary lives. And the females will one day make their own ultimate sacrifice for their babies. In a British garden, the players gather for a grisly scene. Dozens of tiny spiders, baby black lace weavers. These freshly hatched spiderlings are hungry. Their mother provides their only food. She lays a second batch of eggs, and the babies eagerly feast on their unborn brothers and sisters. As they grow, their appetites get bigger too. What's a mother to do? She has one last source of emergency food: herself. She signals to them by tapping the web, and her little ones gather around. Their killer instinct suddenly switches on, and they attack. The mother's insides dissolve, and the babies suck out the liquid meal. In 3 weeks, they'll disperse to lead solitary lives. And the females will one day make their own ultimate sacrifice for their babies. When other eggs hatch, he has a plan for them too. When it began, this shark shared the womb with countless eggs and half a dozen other embryos. By the time it's ready to be born, it's the only one left. Almost. Sand tiger mothers have 2 uteri. While the feeding frenzy was taking place on her right side, its macabre mirror image was playing out on her left. In the end, she gives birth to 2 offspring, already experienced in the art of killing. 2 of the deadliest newborns in the animal kingdom. It's a dangerous world. When the rule is kill or be killed, the ones that start early are the ones that survive. These babies do what they must to make it through their most vulnerable years. Call them ambitious. Call them crafty. Call them tough. Though don't ever just call them cute again. Golden sands, warm crystal clear water, palm trees, maybe a cocktail with a little umbrella in it.
Welcome to paradise.
We may dream of traveling to our little piece of heaven on earth, but there's a dark side to paradise. Living in the world's most idyllic places is no holiday for many animals. This is fiercely contested real estate and the hunting grounds of some truly terrifying and deadly predators. The world's most exotic destinations just happen to be home to killers in paradise. The Great Barrier Reef, one of the world's natural wonders, stretching almost 2,000 kilometers along the east coast of Australia. It's a place of beauty that entices tourists to explore its wonders. But other species travel here with more sinister motives, and some visitors never leave at all. Imagine traveling to a remote tropical beach and having it all to yourself.
Somewhere among these beaches is one for you, where you can feel you're the only man or woman on Earth.
Once a year, green sea turtles live this dream. The turtles swim for hundreds of kilometers to get to this tiny isolated speck on the Great Barrier Reef to lay their eggs. After a long night of digging and laying, this mama turtle heads back to the ocean to rest. Her eggs are safe for now, but she is not. There is another creature in these tropical waters that can turn any animal into an endangered species. The tiger shark. This magnificent predator is the top of the Great Barrier Reef food chain. They have the widest diet of any shark and will eat almost anything. But today, they're here for one specific delicacy. The green turtle's tropical retreat is about to be ruined. This female tiger shark has excellent vision, an amazing sense of smell, and the ability to detect minute electric fields. All the turtle can do is hide motionless among the coral, using her shell as camouflage. They can stay underwater for up to 2 hours, but eventually she must come up for air. And the patient and cunning tiger shark is waiting. 4 meters and 600 kilograms of finely tuned predatory menace. Green sea turtles have a fatal weakness. Thick shells may protect their internal organs, but they can't retract their heads or flippers. The shark bites off the turtle's flippers. There is no chance of escape. Then her powerful jaws and serrated teeth pierce and crush the turtle's shell. The shark spins in a death roll, which tears its helpless prey apart. This mother turtle will never return from her visit to tropical paradise. But her death is not in vain. 2 months later, her precious eggs hatch, and a horde of baby green turtles struggle their way to the water. The surviving females will eventually make their own journey back to the isolated island to reproduce. And the tiger sharks will be waiting. The watery Eden of the Barrier Reef is also home to venomous serpents that have given up living on land and become deadly aquatic predators, sea snakes. They cruise the reef using their paddle-like tail. Sea snakes are visual hunters, but can also smell their prey underwater using their tongue. This small fish has nowhere to hide. It's cornered itself in a crevice in the coral. Talk about a dead end. Sea snakes have retained the venom glands and wicked fangs of their landlubber ancestors. With one bite, the venom paralyzes the helpless fish, and the snake begins to swallow it whole. But sea snakes have one weakness in their armory. Despite living underwater, they're still air breathers and must surface to top off their oxygen supply. A white-bellied sea eagle is on patrol. And a tired sea snake coming up for air is a perfect victim. The eagle launches a devastating dive. With pinpoint accuracy, it snatches the snake from the water. But the deadly sea serpent is not going down without a fight. One bite could kill. The eagle juggles the sea snake as it lashes out in final defiance. She carries it back to her nest and pecks off its head in order to share it with her chick. Australia's Great Barrier Reef dazzles with its natural beauty. It's home to a vast array of life in bright colors of every hue. But in this idyllic natural battlefield, color can mean big trouble. One of the most beautiful and striking-looking creatures on the reef is also one of the most venomous creatures on Earth, the blue-ringed octopus. The blue rings only appear when the animal is frightened or threatened. When it's hunting, it goes into stealth mode, blending into the reef. Today, crab is on the menu, but this is no easy meal. The octopus must quickly subdue the feisty crab before its powerful claws damage its soft, boneless body. To do this, it harnesses the power of chemistry. Bacteria living in the octopus's salivary glands produce a lethal toxin that the 8-armed predator uses to full advantage. It bites off one of the crab's eye stalks and injects venom into the wound. The potent toxins almost instantly kill the crab, and the octopus begins to feast on its soft insides. While humans drink exotic beverages by the pool, blue-ringed octopuses mix their own tropical cocktails. And the hangover is a killer. Things might be dangerous on the Barrier Reef, but Australia is also home to some truly terrifying land animals. Giant reptiles that run as fast as Olympic sprinters and tear their prey to pieces with the strongest jaws on Earth. Australia, a wild land down under that's paradise for unique creatures found nowhere else on Earth. The northeast of the country is lush and tropical, with golden beaches and dense rainforests. And danger lurks everywhere. People travel to northern Australia to explore its natural beauty. For the residents of the forest, these waterways provide life. But not every visitor to the river gets out alive. These murky waters are home to a true monster, the largest living reptile on Earth, the saltwater crocodile. Up to 7 meters long and weighing over a ton, covered in thick scales and armed with a snout full of wicked teeth. Their bite is the strongest of any living animal on Earth. Anything it can't swallow whole is clamped in these terrifyingly strong jaws. And with powerful shakes of its head, ripped into pieces. But these massive predators can be surprisingly stealthy and cunning, considering the largest are longer than the average car. The huge beasts are like lethal submarines, nearly invisible in murky water, with just their eyes above the surface. They mostly feed on small prey, but anything that comes near the water is on this river monster's menu. This goose was snatched off the riverbank before it knew what hit it. The crocodile's teeth are not razor sharp like a shark's. They pierce and grip the goose's body so the powerful jaws can crush it. Crocodiles can't swallow when they're submerged. Otherwise, their throat and lungs would fill with water. So it stays above the surface and swallows the 5-kilogram goose whole. But it's not just careless animals that come down to the river's edge that risk becoming lunch for a hungry salty. You wouldn't think this fruit bat is in any danger resting high in a tree, but underestimate salties at your peril. They're not just lumbering brutes. All that power makes them surprisingly athletic. Using their massive tails to generate speed, salties can lift their bodies out of the water and snatch animals from the trees. A fully grown saltwater crocodile is the undisputed king of this piece of paradise. The saltwater crocodile is not the only giant reptile to prowl Australia. In the vast interior, there is no jungle and almost no water. This is the Outback, a savage realm where only the toughest predators can survive, including a speed demon giant lizard, the parenti. This monster monitor can grow 2.5 meters long, but it's lean and athletic. Parentis will happily scavenge on a putrid carcass. But easy meals like this rotting kangaroo are a bonus. Most of the time, the parenti must hunt down live prey. Luckily, it's built to kill. The parenti tracks its prey using its long tongue, which picks up chemical signals in the air. They also have excellent eyesight, but its real weapon is sheer speed. Parentis have a turbocharged breathing system, which pumps air into their lungs when they need to really move. Reaching speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour, the parenti is faster than most Olympic sprinters. This means they can run down even the fastest prey, like rabbits. This is no lounge lizard. It's the Ferrari of the reptile world. Australia isn't the only tropical paradise full of lethal animals. In the Amazon rainforest live sneaky vampires, nightmarish multi-legged monsters, and flying killers that bring death from above. Brazil is famous for being a tropical playground, and millions of tourists flock to beach resorts like Rio de Janeiro.
In all the world, no other great city has such a string of ocean beaches.
But travel away from the holiday resorts and into the vast Amazon rainforest, and things get deadly real fast. The Amazon teems with life. Towering trees provide food and safety from ground predators, so many forest animals almost never go down to the ground. But that doesn't mean they are safe. These forests are home to a fearsome predator that's the definition of death from above, the harpy eagle. The eagle's powerful claws are 10 centimeters long, the same size as a grizzly bear's. This slow-moving sloth is a prime target. It steers at high speed through the jungle like a jet fighter. Harpies have been clocked at 80 kilometers per hour. With one devastating strike, the harpy eagle maims its victim and carries it off to be shared with her single chick. With mom's devotion and plenty of red meat, it will soon grow to become a fully fledged apex predator and the most devastating flying hunter in the Amazon. After a hard day enjoying the tropics, what could be better than a refreshing drink? It's thirsty work living in tropical paradise. and one of Brazil's wild residents, is legendary for its bizarre drinking habits. A creature whose very name sends a shiver down the spine. The vampire bat. The only mammal on Earth to feed entirely on blood. It doesn't land directly on its victim, but touches down nearby and silently creeps towards it. The tiny vampire uses heat sensors on its nose to zero in on where warm blood is close to the skin's surface. Unlike Hollywood vampires, the bats don't suck up blood through hollow fangs. They use razor-sharp canine teeth to slice open the skin, then lap up the flowing blood with their tongues. A powerful anticoagulant keeps it flowing until the vampire is full. A 50-gram bat can double their weight in one bloody meal. Vampire bats are the only bat on Earth that can take off directly from the ground. Back in its lair, a surprising side of these nightmarish animals is revealed. They share their bloody meals with family members, and even bats that aren't related to them. The vampire bat brings new meaning to the phrase, sharing a drink with a friend. The bats in this South American cave hang from the ceiling, seemingly safe from harm. Wrong. A ruthless predator is sizing them up and moving in for the kill. An Amazonian giant centipede scales the cave wall with ease. Its dozens of legs and powerful body allow it to cling upside down on the cave roof. It's 30 centimeters long, the length of a man's forearm, and armed with venomous black-tipped claws. The centipede clings on with its rear legs and hangs into the busy flight path. Within seconds, a bat flies into its deadly embrace. The giant centipede's claws inject a lethal dose of venom. The bat dies almost instantly, and its flesh begins to liquefy. The centipede will spend the next hour sucking it dry. Giant centipedes are voracious carnivores. Juicy cockroaches are a favorite snack. But the centipede will stalk much larger prey. Their venom kills or paralyzes in seconds. The centipede takes its time eating, slowly cutting its meal into pieces and devouring every scrap of flesh. Even small mammals like mice are fair game. But the tables are about to be turned. This fearless little rodent engages the multi-legged monster in a battle to the death. The centipede is armed with lethal venomous claws. The mouse has only its bravery and agility to keep it in the fight. One mistake will be fatal. The matador mouse eventually wears down the centipede and pounces with a killer strike of its own. It chews off the centipede's head, and the epic battle is over. One small animal of the jungle floor is safe from giant centipedes, because it's even more poisonous than they are. Poison dart frogs are some of the most vividly colored animals found anywhere on Earth. Not for fashion reasons, but as a warning not to mess with them. There are over 100 different kinds, all of them far more dangerous than they look. The golden poison dart frog is considered the most poisonous vertebrate on Earth, more toxic than any snake, fish, or mammal. The frogs don't make their own poisons. It's thought they acquire them by eating toxic insects like ants. The frog then secretes the deadly chemicals all over its skin and uses its bright colors to warn predators they are a deadly mouthful. The spider soon realizes it shouldn't even bother with this victim. Poison dart frogs get their name because humans have learned to use them as a weapon themselves. The frogs are carefully caught, and then wooden darts are rubbed on their skin and covered in their toxic secretions. These lethal weapons are used to kill large animals, making this beautiful but deadly amphibian a jungle hunter's best friend. The idyllic islands of the Pacific are many people's idea of paradise. But just below the surface lurk beautiful shells that can kill, and ravenous and clever sharks that take predatory Hawaiian vacations. The mighty Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on our planet. So big, it covers almost a third of the Earth. 25,000 small islands dot its vast surface, including the exotic island chain known as Hawaii. But humans are not the only species to be drawn to these Pacific islands. Tiger sharks are great travelers too. Some hunt green sea turtles off the Great Barrier Reef of Australia. Others travel hundreds of kilometers for another seasonal delicacy. Every summer, a select group of these lethal predators cruise the Hawaiian Islands. But the tiger sharks don't travel to paradise to rest and relax. They've come to hunt. Midway Island is an isolated rock at the western end of the Hawaiian Island chain. It's also one of the largest albatross breeding colonies in the world. Young albatrosses grow fast. After 6 months, they're as big as the adults and much fatter. From this point on, they must fend for themselves, and that means learning to fly. The bravest, or most foolish, eventually try a test flight over the ocean. This is just what a calculating hunter is waiting for. Tiger sharks have traveled hundreds of kilometers for just this moment. The young seabird's wings get tired quickly, and as soon as it touches down, its fluffy feathers get soggy and heavy. It manages to escape the tiger shark's razor-sharp teeth. But not for long. The hungry shark rips it apart. But like potato chips, one of these tasty snacks is never enough. Only some tiger sharks have figured out there will be easy meals dropping from the sky every year at this time. Between them, they can eat 10% of the albatross chicks hatched on the Hawaiian breeding islands. The banquet only lasts a few weeks. After that, the surviving albatross leave the island where they were born. And the tiger shark's Hawaiian vacation is over. We all know sharks can be dangerous, and they look it. But in this underwater Pacific paradise, some creatures that appear harmless can be lethal. Cone snails live inside some of the most beautiful shells in the world's oceans. They're built for looks, not speed. But this doesn't stop them from hunting fish. How can this slowpoke shellfish possibly catch prey that can literally swim circles around it? Easy, with a secret weapon. A natural harpoon gun that's powered by water pressure and loaded with a barbed dart. When it senses a victim within range, the cone snail slowly moves its weapon into position. And fires. By the time the fish even notices it's been stabbed, the predatory snail has pumped it full of deadly toxins. It extends its monstrous mouth and swallows the fish whole. The most deadly cone snails produce enough venom to kill 15 people. So if you're wandering on a tropical Pacific beach, be careful when you pick up a beautiful shell. And whatever you do, don't hold it up to your ear. The tropical waters of Indonesia are teeming with lethal and bizarre creatures. Camouflaged killers lure victims to their death. Alien hunters hypnotize their prey. And others are armed with the most powerful natural weapons on Earth. Indonesia, an island archipelago made up of over 17,000 little pieces of paradise. The shallow tropical seas that bathe the islands sustain an incredible variety of life. Scientists have found more species of fish living on these reefs than anywhere else on Earth. With all this marine life, there's only one thing to do when you're on your tropical holiday: go fishing.
Since the beginning of time, fishing has been a pleasant way to earn one's daily food.
But this watery wonderland is home to a natural fisherman who makes any human angler look like an amateur. Large predators like sharks cruise the reef, forcing smaller fishes to hide or camouflage themselves so they can't be seen. But most fish aren't scared of a piece of sponge. They don't even notice that it's slowly creeping towards them, or that it has eyes. Too late, little fishy. You've just become another victim of the dreaded hairy frogfish. Hairy frogfish are concentrated lumps of ugly. Instead of swimming, they usually walk along the bottom on their stubby fins. When it's in hunting mode, the frogfish gives an Oscar-worthy performance and acts like a piece of seafloor debris. As well as a perfect disguise and a generally bad attitude towards other life forms, this killer in paradise has another trick to play. One of the spines on its back has evolved into a bizarre appendage. It looks like a worm, And the hairy frogfish uses its natural fishing rod and bait to fish for innocent victims. It wiggles its lure temptingly, drawing an unsuspecting fish closer and closer. Until it's within striking distance. When it comes to fishing in these tropical waters, the hairy frogfish is a natural champion. While the frogfish tries its best to be inconspicuous, another hunter on Indonesia's reefs seems to be doing everything it can to draw attention to itself. The cuttlefish. An alien creature with 8 arms growing directly from its head. A large brain shaped like a donut. And 3 hearts that pump bright blue blood. This boneless, highly intelligent blob propels itself through the tropical oceans using jets of water and steering fins. Like their squid and octopus relatives, cuttlefish have the ability to instantly change color by altering the pigments in their skin. They're often called the chameleons of the sea. In a fraction of a second, they can disappear into the background or become a pulsating ball of flashing colors that almost seem to hypnotize their prey and enemies. One member of the tribe goes to great lengths to be as flashy as possible. The flamboyant cuttlefish is well named. Its skin seems to be in perpetual motion, constantly flashing vibrant patterns. This small but feisty beast prefers to walk along the bottom of the seabed rather than swim. If threatened, it doesn't flee or hide. It stands its ground and unleashes a dazzling show of color. This may act as a warning to predators that it's poisonous if swallowed. It has sharp eyes and prowls the sandy seabed hunting for small prey like shrimp. And it carries a concealed weapon. Hidden among the 8 stubby arms surrounding its mouth is a pair of hunting tentacles. When prey is in range, the tentacles are slowly aimed, then fired at blinding speed. The shrimp is captured and fed to the cuttlefish's parrot-like beak. And then it goes looking for more. The flamboyant cuttlefish is one of the deadliest little hunters on the reefs of Indonesia. And we do mean little. But there's another animal living here that packs an even more devastating natural weapon system. The peacock mantis shrimp. Despite looking like it was designed by a mad scientist, this is the ultimate underwater demolition machine. Before venturing out to find lunch, the mantis shrimp scans for danger using its incredible eyes. The most complex and unique eyes of any animal on Earth. Humans have 3 kinds of receptor that detect color. Mantis shrimps have 12. There is nothing else on our planet that sees the world like this animal. With no threats detected, the peacock mantis shrimp goes looking for trouble. It specializes in breaking and entering, thanks to a pair of natural wrecking balls on the end of its front arms. One punch is enough to instantly cripple a shrimp. This hermit crab will take a bit more work. These soft-bodied crabs live in empty seashells where they are safe from most predators. But the peacock mantis shrimp is not most predators. Its strike is one of the fastest animal movements ever recorded. It takes just 3 milliseconds, a fraction of the time it takes us to blink. The mantis shrimp's club accelerates so fast that it boils the water in front of it, a phenomenon called cavitation. This causes a flash of light and an implosion which further destroys its prey. The mantis shrimp feasts upon the naked hermit. Soon, only an empty shell remains from its crab dinner. The peacock mantis shrimp may only be a few centimeters long, but it has the fastest and most powerful strike of any animal on Earth. It's the ultimate killer in this underwater paradise. The dense jungles of Indonesia's islands hide hungry predators. Secretive big cats stalk the jungle floor. And ninja-like insects blend into their surroundings and kill anything that moves. The Asian nation of Indonesia, made up of over 17,000 tropical islands. Full of exotic food and vibrant culture, Indonesia is a mecca for travelers who want a taste of tropical paradise. But beyond the beaches and bustling cities, the animals in Indonesia's wild jungles must battle to survive. The island of Java is home to one of Indonesia's most secretive and cunning killers, a predator that has mastered the dark arts of stealth and camouflage. The Javan leopard. It fears nothing. There are no lions or tigers on this island, so the leopard is the king of the Javan jungle. And a succulent piglet is too tempting to resist. The leopard silently stalks the young pig, sneaking closer and closer. Its unique spotted coat breaks up the cat's outline, allowing it to approach undetected. When it's close enough, the leopard launches its attack. The piglet doesn't stand a chance. The Javan leopard is the largest predator in the depths of this rainforest. But there are others just as devastating and much harder to spot.
In this tropical climate, flowers bloom everywhere. Gardens of native orchids higher than your head.
For humans, these tropical flowers are harmless and beautiful. But for the smaller creatures of the jungle, they can hide brilliantly disguised killers. This butterfly is visiting an orchid for its usual meal of nectar. It has no idea it is actually going to become food itself. A perfectly camouflaged hunter lurks almost invisible among the flowers. The orchid mantis. The hunter doesn't bother killing its prey. Once it's trapped in its deadly embrace, the praying mantis begins to eat it while it's still alive. The mantis's front limbs are murderous natural weapons, able to strike almost faster than the eye can see and skewer victims on rows of sharp spines. There are hundreds of kinds of praying mantis. And there is no love lost between different species. When they meet each other, it becomes a kung fu battle to the death. The mantis with the fastest strike is the victor. It impales its rival and then quickly begins to eat its head to finish the showdown. Baby mantises must quickly learn to defend themselves from other jungle predators. This frog thinks it has found an easy snack. But the hungry amphibian has forgotten the first rule of jungle survival. Always watch your back. This adult mantis is 15 centimeters long and fancies a tasty meal of frog legs. It has binocular vision like us. Its enormous eyes lock onto the target, and it strikes with deadly accuracy. Praying mantises will tackle almost any small animal they find, including snakes, lizards, birds, and even mammals. After it's eaten, the mantis carefully cleans its natural weapons to keep them in prime condition, like a chef cleaning his knives. The orchid mantis of Indonesia and its deadly relatives may be small, but they are the ultimate killers in paradise. At least, they are during the day. When the sun sets, the mantises find themselves on the menu of another agile and ruthless predator. These mysterious nocturnal creatures look like cute, fluffy toys, but looks can deceive. Tarsiers may look goofy, but they're fast, agile carnivores. And insects are their main prey. Their enormous eyes, each the same size and weight as their brain, give tarsiers excellent night vision. Their ears are like rotating radar dishes, and their heads can turn around almost 360 degrees to pinpoint sounds from any direction. These super senses make tarsiers the perfect nighttime stealth hunters. Their hands have sticky pads on them, which help keep a grip on wriggling insects. The tarsier's hind legs are much longer than the front ones. In fact, these cute little killers are built more like a frog than a mammal. Next on the menu, a praying mantis. But the feisty mantis has other ideas and unleashes a flurry of kung fu punches. The tarsier has bitten off more than it can chew and retreats to find easier prey. It soon finds another mantis. This species relies on camouflage to look like a dead leaf and tries to sneak quietly across the forest floor. But nothing gets past the giant eyes and ears of a tarsier. One deadly hop, and it's all over. They may look like bug-eyed gremlins, but tarsiers are pound for pound one of the jungle's most ruthless and effective hunters. The world's most beautiful tropical paradises draw human visitors by the millions. But living in these jungles, beaches and coral reefs, is no holiday for the creatures that call these places home. Competition is fierce for this prime real estate, and animals battle each other with stealth, teeth, and venom. While we humans lie on the beach enjoying our vacation, animals in the wild fight for their lives against some of the deadliest predators on Earth.